Hello, my name is David O'Brien. And I'm here for your success in the areas of purity. I want to talk to you about part 5, man's sexuality versus spirit. This is the Purity Forum. Welcome back. Glad to have you here because we're making roads, new paths that they're not set yet. As you listen and grow, make certain choices, get more knowledge, your path becomes very, very strong and set, like concrete. But at this time, it's a little unexplored. But we're getting the knowledge out to you that you can take and do something with for yourself, for your generations, your kids, your uncles, nieces, nephews, whoever's in your life. So we're talking about man's sexuality versus spirit. We talked about the spirit of man, how God breathed it into a human being, but it was it wasn't a he or she at the time. He separated the woman out. It became male and female with sexuality, which was a gift, just an added bonus to humanity. So we talked about how the fact is the spirit first relates to God, and then the body is relating to the things of the earth. And so human beings relate to each other also, but it starts with the spirit to God first. Then we then relate to others in a very wonderful and profitable way. And the sexuality part is confined and restricted, but that helps it. But it's confined and restricted to the certain relationship called marriage, which is the two that were separated out becoming one again within first the covenant that's called marriage. That covenant, which is where you lay down your life for the other person, it's more than an agreement. It binds the two together forever, or for this time on the earth, specifically to the life together. But you'd give death to the old life, which was your single life and your old way. Now you're living in the new covenant, a new life for each other, serving each other. That's called the covenant of marriage. It's the proof of love. Now, when you have that, you have room, you have the place from God, you have the permission, you have the right context for the two to become one again, for sexuality to be as the designer intended. But I mentioned how the spirit didn't need that. That was an extra bonus given to the body and for the mind. And you can exist totally fine, just you and God without it. But now, on the other hand, God did tell the man, he told the man, or he said about the man, he's not good to be alone. And he created the woman as a companion. So there is an innate thing inside of women to be a companion, inside of men to figure out, I can't do this on my own. My life is a mess alone. But now, unless you have a special calling to do that, which is an extreme honor inside of God's system, extreme honor, extreme. It's like a badge of honor on you if you can, because then your focus and everything is on his will during this time. Is a very unique, rare, powerful thing. And it's given as a treasure to certain people or for certain periods of time. And then later they get married. But the thing with it is marriage is a amazing blessing, innate blessing. It's a blessing that has blessings on it, other blessings inside of it. It's laced with blessings. And that's where sexuality flourishes. Never hurts anybody. There's never anything wrong, never regrets, never problems, never diseases, never any of these things. And God has destined it and set it up for you this way. But I want to talk to you more about the spirit part, because when Jesus came, I told you he came to the earth. I told you how he was born in the previous parts of this lesson. What he did was on earth, he did miracles. How did he do it? His spirit, being alive to God, could be directed by God in such a way that the power of God flowed through what he was doing, and it gave people, it taught them what their real value was from God's perspective, not just humans. And also it healed the physical bodies of humans, even dead, dying. This is what Jesus, he was displaying God, the God life in a human being as a vessel. He was displaying God for humans inside of a human. Okay, that's very important to know. He's not out beyond outer space. He was showing you what he can be in you and me. And he did it all around Israel. And then he let the religious people who were more stuck on themselves and their own performance, and they didn't know mercy, he let them kill him, which is what they were bloodthirsty. They were eager to do it. They wanted it so bad. And when they killed him, They thought they killed him. He laid his life down. And it was a sacrifice and offering up to God that God accepted fully for a new spirit and new heart to be put inside of mankind, so that you can live and think independent of the normal way that the human system or society is living and thinking. Because you get a new connection to God, the Father again, as your Father, not just the Father of Jesus, your Father now. And he begins to live and walk and do things inside of you. And then things just bubble out of your spirit and they overtake the world. They're faster than the world. The world can't keep up or catch up when you're in tune with the Creator and his voice is leading and his power comes out of you. And again, it restores relationships. It heals people's self-identity of their past. You know, they have a problem with their past, and it heals so that they don't have a connection anymore. They don't look back anymore the way they were before. They don't see themselves in the mirror wrongly anymore. And instead, their expectations and all this stuff just explodes. The way they think explodes in a good way, you know, as to their mind is blown on what can happen, what will happen. And then they can be a blessing, an innocent, like loving person to others, you know, just a big, huge teddy bear for others. That's what God does. Doesn't matter what the person's like before, he will do that. Why? He gives you a new spirit. That spirit's responsive to him, and it can absorb the information from him, the knowledge from him, which then comes into you and finds root in you, and then eventually grows, and all this different stuff happens on the inside and blossoms. And next thing you know, you are completely different. You are healing in this earth. You are healing after that. You heal people. You strengthen people. You show Jesus. And sexuality then can't be your number one anymore, because you're restored to God. God's your number one now. And sexuality takes its place. It settles down in your life and takes its place and is inside of the marriage relationship that God gives you also, that you learn how to seek and find. Also, inside of that is where your sexuality stays put. And then things on the outside, they don't challenge you or pull you in the same way they used to. They can't, because you're different on the inside. You're alive. All the way down within you is the life pulsing, which is the life of God inside of you. This is what the whole good news is. Jesus came as a bridge to bring us to God. And then when we come to God, we get transformed and changed on our nature and our inside. All right, so now the possibilities are endless, and you can walk with head held high. He already forgave your past. If you could have been a prostitute, you could have been a this or that, a pimp. He forgave it. It's cut. And then you just say it. You agreed with him and speak it with your mouth. My past is forgiven, it's cut. And then you start walking the new life. Spirit first, not body, not sex organs, not body, not brain. Spirit first. As you do that, everything mends in your life, and sexuality becomes a servant to you to do exactly what God intended it to do from the beginning. Your desires are different. You're walking just like Jesus.